So, what's the difference between professional coaching and professional advising, or sometimes called management coaching and executive advising? Well, it kind of boils down to this: coaching is self directed, it's short term, it's situational. The In a coaching situation, the coachee, the client, comes in and has a very clear goal or intention or a situation that they want a plan of action or a path forward to achieve a certain end. So they talk to the coach and they say, here is my vision. Here is my goal. Here is the issue that I am dealing with or struggling with. Help me. And the coach then engages in facilitation questions. They ask questions about to get the person to discern their goals, their issues, their perspectives, their underlying. So, what's the difference between professional coaching and executive advising? We get asked that question all the time because we offer these services. Here it is in a nutshell. Coaching is self directed. A person who wants coaching comes to the coach and they say, I have a vision, I have a goal, I have an issue for which I want some direction. They often think that the coach is going to be the one that gives them all the advice and all the direction and all the solutions, and that is not the truth. What the coach does is they sit with the person and they get the person to clarify and specify, not just in one session, maybe in multiple sessions, what is their specific goal? What are the objectives that they're trying to achieve? What have they already tried to do? What are they afraid of doing inside of themselves? What do they think are the roadblocks outside of themselves to achieve that goal or deal with that issue? What are some of the possible strategies that they can engage in? The internal strategies or the external strategies? What would the end look like that would satisfy them or the possible ends? Sometimes they come in with, like, I just want that, but a whole bunch of these other things are possible. What are the current drivers for this goal, this vision? So a coach asks a lot of provocative questions, not just random, flippant questions. They ask a lot of questions that they are holding in mind to direct the person towards consideration of a whole bunch of factors that they may not have considered, so that they ultimately come up with the answers and the path forward that works for them. Not the coach's path forward, but a self-determined path forward. It's a powerful process because when the person gets to the other side, they have not only gained all the solutions and achieved all their goals, but they've worked the process themselves. It's an empowering process. The coach merely guides it, and they ask the powerful questions. Advising is a different thing. Sometimes executives or senior managers come in and they really don't know what to do. They are hit with multifaceted dilemmas. It might be an executive who has a director or a vice president or a senior leader who has gone rogue and is creating chaos or havoc in an entire division, not following policies or procedures, creating favoritism, thinking that they can work outside the lines of authority. Maybe their styles of management or leadership is creating havoc and chaos. Maybe they are pushing back against all senior leadership. Maybe they're creating divisional lines of loyalty and splitting loyalties within an organization. Maybe there's some other mismanagement going on. But usually in executive advising, an executive comes in and says, look, here are all the pieces on the table, and they're all falling apart. I don't even know how to organize all of them. There's so many of them. Advise me. Help me group all of these. Help me prioritize what I should be doing. Or perhaps the executive is coming in and they have moved into a new position in executive leadership, maybe from middle management to senior leadership, and they have tons of subject matter expertise in certain areas, but now in senior leadership, they are leading entire operations, in leading entire political partnerships or stakeholder partnerships or entire personnel cadres in new ways that they've never done before. And they have to do it all at once. And so they come in and they say, there are so many moving pieces here, and I was never trained in all of these areas. But because they've moved into senior leadership, there's always an assumption that because you have tenure or because you have seniority, you should know all of this. And senior leaders don't. And so they come for executive advising, and they will often say, here are all of my roles, all of my responsibilities. Here are all the players that are in action right now. I have these political players as stakeholders over here, and these other stakeholders as internal and external customers over here. Here are some of the personnel issues I'm dealing with. Here are the operation issues I'm dealing with. Here are all the moving pieces. Can you give me a 30,000-foot bird's eye view, looking down and say, how do I organize this? What do I do? What are some of the strategic starting points, not the tactical starting points of just playing whack-a-mole and starting one by one? Executive advising provides a strategic overview to an executive or a senior leader who is just frozen in place for some reason, or doesn't know how to organize everything for a moment in time. So coaching is when someone comes in with a goal in mind and they need a path forward or need to have the right questions asked so that they can see the underlying issues or come up with their own solutions. Advising is when there is so much happening that a mind is frozen in place and they need an outside perspective. They do need guidance to say, tell me what to look at. Tell me how to organize this. And so executive advising is a little bit more directed to look at things differently, directed in an approach, directed in a plan, and directed in some solutions. I hope that makes sense, my friends. And if any of these services can be of help to you for the short term, spontaneously for a one and done, or for a short term, or even for midterm kinds of coaching, maybe 9, 12 sessions, I hope you give us a call. My name is Rob Shout. Have a beautiful day.